Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind since I rewatched Bleach, specifically the 1000-Year Blood War arc, and that's the decision Shunsui made to have Kenpachi and Unohana fight to the death. I'll be honest with y'all, I don't agree with it. I understand where the story was going and what needed to happen, but when you really think about the bigger picture, it just doesn't sit right with me. So today I'm breaking down why I feel this is a bad call, especially considering how much Soul Society had already lost at this point. So let's look at the context. Head Captain Yamamoto had just been killed by Yhwach. That's already a massive loss. Arguably the strongest Shinigami in Soul Society history. Gone, wiped out, no longer adding to their battle power. And what's the next move? Shunsui decides to throw Unohana, the first Kenpachi, the original beast of the Gotei 13, into a fight to the death with the current Kenpachi. That means two of your strongest fighters are literally taking each other out. Now I get that Kenpachi needed to unlock his true potential, and that Unohana was the only one who could push him to that point. But why did it have to end in her dying? We've seen captains train others before without killing them. There could have been another way, especially now during wartime conditions, when every strong fighter matters more than ever. Now here's the thing, just because Unohana hadn't been fighting for hundreds of years doesn't mean that she wasn't still a monster in battle. She was holding back, and we finally got to see how cold she really was, and she did not disappoint, not even for a second. But outside of her combat skills, she's also the best healer in Soul Society. She's been holding that role down for hundreds of years, and her healing has saved countless lives. Losing her meant losing both a top-tier combatant and the most skilled medic on the battlefield. Now forgive the comparison, but I always compare her to Tsunade from Naruto. Strong, respected, and able to keep the rest of the team alive. That's not someone you throw away, especially not during, again, wartime conditions. If I were Shunsui, I would have made a different call. I would have had Unohana train Kenpachi until he was ready. Break his mental blocks, sure, but keep her alive. Then, once he's at full power, let them both loose on the Stern Reader. Can you imagine Unohana and a fully realized Kenpachi tearing through the enemy together? That would have been freaking terrifying, but effective. But instead, we only get to see one real fight with Unohana, and that's it. For someone who's been teased as this legendary killer, she barely got any shine outside of this final moment. And meanwhile, Yami gets more screen time than her. Don't get me started on Yami, because I feel like Aizen trolled him, like telling him that he was a Zero Espada and that he's the strongest. Like, please be so for real. Anyway, that, again, when it comes to Unohana, it just never sat right with me that that's the only fight that we got. Now, I know the story was trying to give Kenpachi like that big moment for him. Again, he needed some like evolution and just to kind of grow. And like, don't get me wrong, it really was a big deal. But at what cost? Shunsui is supposed to be a strategist. He knows what it means to lose people like Yamamoto. So I was surprised that his first major decision as head captain was something that would guarantee the loss of another powerful figure. Especially somebody that he himself has called his senpai, his senior, somebody that he's respected and looked up to, and quite possibly feared low-key, right? So in a war like this, you need all hands on deck, especially ones with centuries of experience like Unohana. She could have played a huge role in keeping the Soul Society afloat during the chaos and added some much needed wisdom and guidance, because of course, Shunsui is a great leader, but having Ukitake and Unohana as a support, I think would have went even further than what it did in the actual anime. Anyway, y'all, that's how I feel. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you agree? Or do you think this was the only way for Kenpachi to reach his full potential? I appreciate you all watching and supporting the channel. If you like these kind of breakdowns, especially ones focused on Bleach and its characters, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And actually, I'm almost at that 1,000 subscriber milestone, so every bit of support helps the channel. Also, check out my Bleach discussions playlist for more videos like this. It really helps with growing the channel's watch time hours, and I think you'll enjoy the deep dives. Catch y'all in the next one.